I'd like to tell you a little more about the meal plan that Renee and I have included in the challenge for you this season. So obviously it's a week. It's 1 week full of breakfast, lunch, and dinner recipes, plus plenty of snack suggestions to top up your day. Now the recipes are all family friendly, so everyone in the family can enjoy them. I'm a big fan of cooking once and everybody sharing the same meal, even if we can have some adaptations. Now it's completely up to you how and if you use the meal plan, okay? Now I know some of you are looking for being told exactly what to eat. You may be stuck in a rut, you want a reset or a fresh start. If so, then you can follow the meal plan for a week or even 2 as is, without making any changes, and you should be perfectly fine. For some of you, it's not going to work to follow something so prescriptive, and that's totally fine. Pick and choose some recipes that look good or use the snack ideas. It's there for you to use as a tool to make your eating easier. It's not supposed to be a burden, okay? So use it how you can make it work for you. So let's get into how I made the plan. Now, before I start any meal plan, the first thing I want to consider is the season. It's springtime. We've got lots of spring green veggies. We're changing with the fruits available this season. We've still got some of the autumn stuff, but we're slightly coming into the summer season. Okay, so we've got to consider what's going to be fresh, inexpensive, really tasty. And we're going to make the use of our seasonal produce. The second thing I think of is that every meal needs to have a source of carbohydrate. So that could be from bread, rice, grains, legumes, or even potatoes, sweet potatoes, starchy veg. Some protein, which obviously comes from meat or dairy or our vegetarian sources like legumes, tofu, or even nuts. And then of course some fruit or veg. So we want to make sure that every meal has a balance of macronutrients, and that means it's going to give us lots of micronutrients and that it's going to be balanced. That means that it's going to help with our muscle recovery, our energy throughout the day, and that we are just basically getting what we need to get through the day. From there, I've got a plethora of recipes that are all ready to go, and then it's a case of thinking of it like a jigsaw puzzle of how we can connect everything together to make meals that are going to be satisfying and filling so that the day has lots of variety. We don't want to have the same carbohydrate sources being used throughout the day. That's going to get boring and you're missing out on opportunities to get a variety of different nutrients. So we want to make sure that there is variety and lots of different foods spread throughout the day. Now, if you want to know more about macro and micronutrients, then check out my Nutrition 101 video and meal planning for good health. How to use the meal plan. So there's lots of specific ingredients and different brands used within the meal plan, and that's just to make your life easier. I've done lots of label reading of nutrition information and ingredients lists, and I've found the products that I think are really good that I have access to, okay, at my local supermarkets. If you prefer to buy different brands, if you can't find the brands that I've suggested, don't worry about it. In the scheme of things, it's really not going to make that much of a difference. If you're interested in label reading, then sure, find the products that have got the least sodium, the least saturated fat, the least added sugar, but otherwise just use whatever you've got on hand, okay? It's not a deal breaker. What we are looking for is that our meals are based around lean protein, whole grains, and plenty of fruits and vegetables. The exact brands don't really matter. The serve sizes that I've noted in the recipes literally divide the recipe by either 2 or 4, depending on how many serves it made. So it's not an indication of how much you should be eating or how much you need. It's a rough serve. Most people should feel satisfied with the serve sizes that I've allowed, but if you need to eat more, add more food. Okay, we're all used to spreading our food out differently throughout the day, and that's totally fine for you to do that. You could simply bump up the portion of the meal, you could add more vegetables, or you could add your snack to your meal. So instead of leaving it for later, if you prefer to have bigger meals. What if you've got fussy family members? I know it can be really tricky when you've got an idea of what you would like to have for dinner, but you don't bother making it because you're not sure that everybody in your family will be on board with it. With this meal plan, the meals are family friendly, which means they are suitable for everybody in the family. That doesn't mean everybody's going to love them though. What I would like you to do though, instead of just crossing off a recipe because it uses ingredients that someone in your family doesn't like, is have a look at how can you modify it for that particular family member. So for instance, if you are looking at a salmon dish and one of your family members doesn't like salmon, can you get a fillet of chicken breast and cook it in the same way? So the rest of the meal's the same, but that family member is just having a different serve of protein in that meal. So think about how you can use the same ingredients and just prepare it a little bit differently. Another example is for the penne pasta. It uses spinach and mushrooms cooked in the sauce. My little girl won't eat cooked spinach and mushrooms, so what I would do is cook them separately, add them to our bowls to mix the pasta through, and in her bowl she could get something different, maybe like peas or corn. And lastly, a note on weight loss. Now, as I've mentioned before, this meal plan is suitable for most people. Now, some of you may have a weight loss goal and you may need more or less energy than this meal plan provides. Now, we have purposefully not included calories or kilojoule information on this meal plan. And I'll tell you why. That's because we don't want you focusing on the calorie side of things. We want you to be focusing on the diet quality side of things. So we want to give you an opportunity to eat some really nourishing, balanced meals that have a moderate amount of energy and see how your body responds to them. When you're focusing on calories and you're focusing on perhaps minimizing how much you eat, you can't hear your body tell you when it's satisfied, when it's full. It becomes a little bit blurred. So by giving you the space to eat and listen to your appetite and respond to your appetite, you are learning to put a little bit more trust into your body. And in the long term, this helps benefit the weight loss process if that's a goal for you.